Welcome everyone, Farmer Cop here. This is going to be a test to see if sheep are actually worth it. We are going to take a look at a few things. We're going to take a look at how much wool they produce. We're going to take a look at their value as they get older. We're going to take a look at feeding them grass versus hay. We're also going to take a look at their productivity, their value, all that sort of stuff. And here's how we're going to do it. So I have a sheep barn with, I have a sheep barn for, well, I guess I should put it this way. I have 2 sheep barn per type of sheep. So we have 4 types of sheep in game. I bought them at 0 months, so we're going to work our way up from 0 months. So basically, if you decided to buy them at 6 months, or I think it's 6 months or 12 months or something like that, let's take a look at that real quick. If you decide to buy them when they are further along, you just need to jump in on my charts and data at those times. So obviously we have age 8 months, and then, so 8 months. So if you decided to buy them at 8 months, instead, just jump in at my chart at 8 months to take a look at the difference. So yes, we're going to take a look at everything. Now, the reason I have a barn for each is one is going to be fed grass, one's going to be fed hay. Then I'm going to keep track of the values of each and how much wool each of them produce. Now, theoretically speaking, it does say total capacity effect is 100%. They eat grass and hay. It should be identical. So my prediction is it's going to be identical, and the grass and hay is not going to matter, but we're going to make sure of that. I am playing on Elm Creek, which is a base game map. I have very little mods installed. I just have like easy dev and stuff like that, but nothing that's going to change any of the gameplay mechanics in terms of the sheep. So we're going to run this test. I'm just going to keep going for a while until maybe they kind of top out, or it kind of seems like a logical place to stop. So basically, I'm just going to feed them every day and make sure they have everything they need. They'll automatically be billing us for water because they're in barns, but otherwise everything else they're going to need as we go. So we're going to take a look at that. And if, as long as there's not too many numbers to crunch, I'm actually going to take a look if you go kind of further. So what I mean by that is I'm going to take a look at their value. If you came in here and you're, well, going to make some cloth out of them instead of, or take the wool, not out of the sheep, but take the wool they're producing and make cloth. I'm also going to go a step further and then take a look at that as if you produce clothes out of them. So we're going to take a look at that and see if it's actually really worth it or how much money you can make off of the sheep. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'm going to start doing the test. I'm going to bring you guys back in with some of the results, and we'll take a look at it, as always, in a very complicated chart that has all the information for you, but hopefully is at least simple enough for you guys to understand. And I'll, again, walk you through all of it. So I'm going to go ahead and run the test, and I'll bring you guys back in sometime in the future. All right, welcome back in, everyone. So I have the results, and they are quite interesting and quite helpful, I think. Honestly, I think I learned a lot more about sheep than I knew before, and I've done sheep several times in games. So honestly, the results are quite shocking and quite good and helpful, I think. Maybe not shocking, that might be a bit extreme of terminology to use, but I'm going to break down the results. I'm going to show you into kind of 2 separate categories, and I think they're both going to provide kind of some really good insight for you guys, especially if you're thinking about doing sheep, clothing, fabric, any of that stuff on your farm. So the first set I'm going to show you is just straight up the results, and the second one's going to be the profitability. So what you're seeing up on your screen right now is my sheep test. There's all the kind of results here. So left-hand side, you have the age in months going down, and then you have grass and hay. So all sheep, by the way, perform the same. So feed type does not matter either. So grass and hay, they took the same amount of feed, so you might as well feed them grass if you have it. Hay, I guess if you just have hay available, however you want to do it, but grass is usually a little bit easier to manufacture, and it's not worth as much. And again, all sheep types are identical. So if we take a look here, the health and the productivity, as soon as they got passed onto 1 month, they went to 100%, and we're all good. You can see the value jumps from $40 to $125 after the first month. Then it consistently goes up by $25 until it tops out at $1,000 at 36 months. Then you have puberty. They are going to be fully mature at 8 months, which makes sense because the fully mature ones are 8 months old. And then you're going to switch over to reproduction. They go to 20% reproduction right away once they hit 100% puberty. You'll also notice that they do start producing wool at 4 months, but it's in very low increments. You can see the changes, 10, 10, 5, 16 over there on the right-hand side. The wool production tops out at about 18 months, where they produce 41 to 42 liters. Well, I guess one of the months there is 47 as well, but about 41 to 42 liters per month is pretty usual. So that's about what they're producing. You can see every 5 months they're going to give birth to another sheep, which is where those green highlighted chunks are in there. So what I will say is I recommend selling your sheep at 37 months. So if you look down at the bottom, they obviously top out in value at 36 months. And if you wait 1 extra month, you're going to get another baby sheep. So by the time you get to 37 months, you can sell them for $1,000, which is great. And you will have 6 additional sheep they've given birth to. So even if you only keep one of those sheep and keep selling, the other sheep off, as long as you're always holding on to one sheep, you're going to be really well and set to sell all your sheep once they hit 37 months old. Because after that, they still continue to produce wool, but again, it's just kind of the returns aren't as good because they're only producing wool at that point. And I guess they are also producing more sheep, but again, the value of them is not going to increase anymore. And they're still using 50 liters of food a day, which you can see they topped out about 50 liters at 6 months, where their feed in either grass or hay was. Now, let's show you guys kind of the main thing you guys are probably going to want to take a look at is what's going to be on your screen right now, which is kind of the profitability. So I broke it down really far for you guys, but also really simply. So first off the top of the screen, I have the sheep cost, which is $200. So that's your initial sheep cost. Then if we go just down to that first box, so you can see kind of, well, basically, what is that? 12 boxes there. The upper one, the one in the upper left-hand corner, it says first sheep and second and plus sheep. So what that means is the first sheep, everything in those columns that have first sheep listed is going to count or going to take out that $200 for the initial cost. Obviously, any additional sheep, you're not paying that because they're going to reproduce off your first sheep, so that cost is not included. Then I have 3 sections of each of those top 6 boxes. I have wool plus sheep, fabric plus sheep, and clothes plus sheep. So if you take the wool and sell it, plus the sheep and sell it for $1,000, again, that's the value of them, that's the profit you're going to make for your first and then your second plus. Fabric plus sheep is if you're taking the wool and you're making it into fabric, plus you're selling your sheep. Then clothes, if you're taking your wool and making it into clothes and then selling your sheep as well, that's the profit there. Then you can see I kind of have 3 main columns on here. The first one is in easy economy mode. The second one is in normal economy mode. And the third one is in hard economy mode. So no matter what economy mode you're playing on, this chart is going to work really well for you and hopefully help you guys out. Another thing I want to note as well here is this is if you are selling your sheep at 37 months. That's what I'm calculating this off because that's when I would recommend to sell them. And that seems to be the best time possible to sell your sheep is at 37 months. So looking here, after 37 months, what kind of profitability do you have? Well, on easy economy mode for wool, you're looking between, $2,500 and $2,700 for fabric, $56 and $58, clothes, $73 and $75 if you're feeding them hay. Now, if you're feeding them grass, which is a little bit cheaper, you can see a slight increase there. So that's why there's 2 boxes in each economy mode. So no matter what combination you have going on, this is going to show you what you're able to make off them. So if you're in hard economy mode, if you're feeding them grass, you're making the most obviously off of the clothes. And if you are in easy economy mode and you're feeding them grass, you're also making the most off of the clothes, which is about $7,400 to $7,600 every 37 months off of 1 sheep, which is a really good deal. So you're doing really good off of these guys and you're making really good money. Now, the next box at the bottom is just how much the sheep are going to eat by the time they hit 37 months. So that's your total feed cost is about, your total feed amount is about 1,740 liters of either grass or hay, depending on what you're feeding them. Then the next set of boxes below that, I have showing you what values I'm using to calculate all these. So in easy economy mode, I used $135 per 1,000 liters for grass, $168 per 1,000 liters for hay, $1,800 per 1,000 liters for wool, $9,000 per 1,000 liters for fabric, and $24,000 per 1,000 liters for clothes. That's if you're selling them at a decent time. So basically we're looking at, would it be better off for you to sell your grass and hay, or would it be better to put them into sheep and make, well, fabric, clothes, or wool? And it's definitely way better to make wool, fabric, or clothes. Way better. And then again, I have different prices adjusted for the different economy modes at the bottom, and those are calculated into what you're making. As you know, the cost of the sheep, what you're making off of them, should not change if you change the economy mode, is my understanding. If I'm completely wrong about that for some reason, and I'm forgetting something, I apologize. I am running this test in normal economy mode in case you're curious. At the bottom there, you also have production ratios used. You have wool to fabric, so 2 wool goes into 1 fabric or goes to make 1 fabric, and then fabric to clothes means that 2 fabric goes to make 1 clothes. So if you take a look at that on the right-hand side there, I also have it listed at the bottom. It's 4 to 1 for wool if you're making clothes. So basically 4 wool goes into making 1 clothes. So that's kind of the calculations I use, and so you can see there that the profitability is quite high for sheep. But anyhow, guys, I hope this video was helpful for you. This spreadsheet is linked down below in the description if you guys do want to use it. Just remember as well, this is if you're playing on a base game map. These results could vary if you're on a different map or doing something else. So just be aware of that. That's on a base game map using base game mods, or no mods at all, I should say. So there you go. If you guys enjoyed, please drop a like down below. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button up on the screen to join the Farmer Cop channel and turn your notification bell so you don't miss any future videos I may post. This has been Farmer Cop. Thank you guys for coming and for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one.